Now my dogs are barking. They're acting up. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Mr. Ari Gross, and he's going to be talking to us about his book, Awakening, and other things. And we're going to be diving into who he is. We're also going to be doing a Get Your Mets segment, part 2 today. We're going to be talking about how much money is enough. And we are diving into that topic, which is a part 2 we did from a topic back in June, I believe. So that's coming up next. Check it out.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are live today. It is February 28th, 8 p.m. here in the East Coast, 7 p.m. wherever Sam is at. And we are back. We are doing another live show. We have Mr. Ari Gross on the show. We're going to be talking to him about his book called Awakening and other things. And we're also going to be talking about, just how much money do you need, man? How much money do you really need? And we'll dive into that. That is a part 2. We are continuing the conversation for those of you who have crowdfunding campaigns. We're going to talk a little bit about how much is enough to get these things going. But before we get all that going, I want to let you guys know that if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel, comment below, like, do all those things. We are going to be announcing something cool very soon. I will talk to Sam about it once we get off, because I don't think he knows it yet. But yeah, we have a few things going on. So far this year has started off really good, Sam. I mean, other than, listen, we still haven't gotten to 1,000 subscribers, which is what we're trying to get. So if you haven't done so yet,
what's up with that?
But other than that, dude, the year of 2023 has been busy, bro. Busy.
Get busy, yo. Yeah, 2023 has been dope. It's been slowly progressing to be a good year. You know what I mean? So I'll take the wins where I get them. Because 2022 was tough. 2021 was tougher. I think the universe is like, yo, let's ease back a little, man. We drag them through the mud. Let's ease back. So 2023 is looking good. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, looking very good. A big shout out to the people in the chat already. ASAP Imagination, Rain Cross Press, Technigods. I like how the guys are all using their business names. They're not coming in here like, ladies, Dave, Mike. Is that you, Michael? I don't know if that's Michael, because it could be. There he is. There he is. There he is. Oh, see Michael Lanning in the house. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming on and catching the show. But yeah, 2023, it's starting to be something of a good year, especially for you, Sammy. I see you've been posting about some very good news, not just for yourself, but for Duty. Duty, for those who don't know, There's an Alien in My Toilet is the book where Duty is the star, Sam is the artist. So I saw some of that. That was kind of dope.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. So yeah. So I've I got hit up by a kid with a comic. It's a publication. It's a newspaper that's going to be distributed to bookstores and comic shops. And they saw my Kickstarter. They saw the Duty, and they said, "Hey, we'd love to have you as do you do it as a comic strip?" I said, "That's how Duty actually started out, which is crazy." And so we talked for a little bit. It took a little while, and I was like, "All right, cool, I'm in." And so I already submitted the first strip. I'm working on the second strip. I should have that to them by this weekend. So it's I think the first publication hits the stores right in time for summer. So I'm excited about that. On top of that, not only that, but the graphic novel, volume number 1, that one launches on Kickstarter April 4th. So that's the first and that actual volume will be hitting stores. So that Kickstarter really is paying for the ISBN number and barcode because I'm using print on demand distributor that distributes to all the bookstores. They do all the legwork. They get into all the databases for the libraries and the bookstores and all that stuff. And I'm just gonna get on the phone and call them up and say, "Yo, what's up? Hook it up, make your order." Right. So from that aspect, I'm hoping to hit the winter timeline for Duty in the stores, the graphic novel, but also the comic strip will get into the stores before that. So, and there's some other things I'm working on behind the scenes. So more to come on that. That's cool. Then penguins in the bottom.
That is cool. That is cool. I would say.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no. So make sure if you haven't done so yet, sign up to the new campaign that's launching April 4th. We will have a launch party here on the Craze. So make sure you tune in for that. Big shout out again to the guys in the chat. I see there's a lot of chatter in there, and we appreciate you guys. Technic Gods, Michael San Martino, make sure you check that out. He's got a book called Technic Gods, so big shout out to him. Rain Cross Press.
I can't wait for the next issue.
Yeah, no. Rain Cross Press was our sponsor of last week's show, so big shout out to him. So you check that out. ASAP Imagination, we need to say no more. Check out asapimagination.com. Check out those books. And see, Michael Lanning's got a Kickstarter right now called Doghouse. So check that out. He is the artist on that book. So check that out. Big shout out to that.
I don't have a dog barking. I would have had one in the background, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, your dogs. He said, "Me too, Sam. Me too." But yeah, no. As far as that goes, I'm also doing a couple of things. I'm working on a couple of things. I have obviously ASAP Imagination, big partner of mine. We have GIG, Global Indie Group. For all those indies who have an idea but don't know how to get it off the ground, check out Gig. You can go in there. No doubt. See, check out Gig. You can go to the website, sign up. And if you are, say, for example, you have a concept, an idea for a story, don't know how to get it going, need a writer, you can find one there. If you need an artist, you can find one there. It's a one-stop shop. Check it out. Make sure you go to globalindiegroup.com. I want to have the guys on the show and the gals. Lori, big shout out to her, because so we can talk a little bit more about the platform itself. Yeah. I'm also going to be writing a book over there, Sam. Yeah, man. Big excited about that. I can't wait to start on that. So it's gonna be an interesting 2023, man. I think there's gonna be a lot of creative juices flowing, and we're gonna be doing a lot of things, man.
Oh yeah, and if you're out there in Puerto Rico, I'm coming for you. I'll be at the Puerto Rico first week in April. I'm ready to get my coquito on, right, and get my drink on and have fun. So
you're gonna be in the whole time. Stop it, coquito.
I'm at a sweet digs, and they got a big ass bar. So I'll be there just sipping on some syrup.
But you're different in Puerto Rico. You're a different guy in Puerto Rico. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm heading out there to Puerto Rico Comic Con. It's April 7th through the 9th. My booth is 125, so go check me out. It's gonna be the first time I've ever been there, so it's gonna be dope. And then right after that, I'm at the Central Texas Comic Con, which is in Waco, Texas. So April's a big month. 2 cons back to back. So I got to make sure I got my inventory on. So it's gonna be dope.
Word. Who did you drop in that bomb? I dropped.
I did.
Come on, Sam. What are we doing over here? Who did it? Who did it? It's just the two. I didn't even remember
tonight either. I'm like, what? I was like, bloody hell!
Oh my god! Hey, for those interested in figuring out how to do conventions cost effectively, check out the Art of Samuel channel, where Sam breaks that down as well. So if you haven't subscribed to that channel, make sure you do so as well. There's an interesting
word. Check out the Art of Samuel. It's growing nicely. The newest one is 2 conventions in 1 month, and how much will it cost? If you haven't checked that out, and also check out the newest episode of the Craze and 10 or Less. I understand, but don't quit. So check that out. It's a really good segment. Yes, we got a lot of good stuff happening coming down the pike. Don't you have to say your
Go ahead,
Oh,
Sam. Say it in Spanish. I
that's what
dare
I
you.
got George for, bro.
I won't be there. I won't be there. You want me to record it? You want me to just record it? You just
Yo,
play it to
you know,
people?
I'm gonna have the app when they talk in Spanish. He's gonna say it in English to me.
Oh,
And
my
we're talking
God.
English. He's gonna say it in Spanish.
Don't
Yo,
tell me Puerto Rican.
AI, bro. I'm going with a bot.
Listen, tell them you're Italian or something. Don't tell them you're Puerto Rican. They're going to look at you like, look at this guy.
I'm gonna
What is
solve
wrong
up
with
for
this guy?
Persia.
Yeah, tell them you're a prince. You're a prince somewhere in the Middle East.
That's it. I know.
We do comics on the side.
I already got a few phrases to say out there. After that, they got me stumped.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
That's it. Don't judge me because my Spanish is broken.
Yo, and if you guys are going to be in Boston, the weekend of April 22nd, I'm going to be out there with Mr. Jonathan Syfax. We're going to be walking the floor. So check us out over at Wicked.
Oh, I thought you guys had a booth. I didn't know.
No, we're just going to go chill. We're going to go hang out. We're going to go hang out. Check out the scene. You know what I mean? Check out the scene and just network. Do a little networking with our fellow indie creators out there. So that should be a good time. So if you are going to be in the Boston area, check us out. If you see me walking the aisles, don't tackle me. Just say hello.
Oh yeah. Oh, and just breaking news, everybody.
Breaking news! Breaking news! Yo, what happened to the breaking news?
Yo, it's not really breaking news, but if you want me to play it,
do it.
We haven't used that in a minute. Tops in the Bronx.
Yeah, it's been a while, kid. Okay, so what's going on? Talk to me.
No, the Kickstarters are shipping out this week. So I've been packing.
We wasted it.
I told you it wasn't breaking news, but you wanted it. You gotta give the fans what they want.
That's on me. That's on me.
So the Kickstarters are going out this week. I've been packing everything and shipping, so it'll actually be out the door by Friday into the post office's hands. So you should start seeing it in your mailbox by next week sometime. So I'm excited about that. So I said I was gonna get it to you guys early. I'm a man of my word. Almost had a delay. Comics Wellspring was, they were slipping on me, but they made it happen. I applied the pressure that came through at the end, so that was good.
Applied the pressure.
I applied the pressure. I said, yo, you know who I are?
They were like, yeah, you better hope they send you the right comics. One time
I haven't even opened it yet. I started packing. I started sorting everything, but with all the accessory stuff, and I've been putting the names on the table by the boxes, and I haven't actually unwrapped the boxes. You're still in the box. Everything else is sorted.
Dude, I once got a shipment from a whole different, from Kablam, right? I ordered some books, and they sent me somebody else's books, like 50 or 60, like maybe 75, but whatever. It was a lot of books. And this was a few years ago. This was before Instagram, so I don't even know who the person is. Like I try to Google them to find them to say, hey, I got a bunch of your books that they never received. I wonder if Kablam just sent them a whole new batch, but I have that batch of books. I got to find it. I got to see who they are. Maybe able to find them now. Be like, hey, look, remember that book that you printed out like 5 years ago?
I went to every comic shop and sold them 10 each. I got you distributed, brother. So I took my fee.
Philip in the house. What up, Philip? You would have made money off of it. Poor guy, man.
I said, yo, you distributed. I got you into 50 stores. You're distributed. I just took my cut. Thank you.
Unbelievable. I just took my cut. Here's the rest. Yeah, so I got to find them. I wonder who they are. Now I'm going to have to go and look for that box. Hope I said that. But yeah, man. So that's what's going on. And what else? What else we got going on, Sam? I knew there were a few things I wanted to talk about, but
what else? We got episode 500 coming around the corner. So that's going to be good.
Episode 500. Yeah,
forgot about that. I've been slipping. So episode 500 is coming right around the corner. It's been dope. I'm excited.
Make it a perk on the next campaign.
There's over 1,000 freaking videos on the channel.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, I believe it. But you know what's killing? What's killing it right now? Making the perk. What's killing it right now is shorts.
Yeah,
not the shorts you wore to Puerto Rico, like video shorts.
Baby.
Easy, Sam. Just standing up, showing off.
Yeah, wear short shorts, near for short shorts. Remember that commercial?
Easy. It's a family show. Put that MA thing back up there.
It's a family affair. Yeah. Yeah. Shorts
Yeah.
is a new thing. It's the new thing in town.
Yeah, the YouTube Shorts, man, they're really
You
taking
should-
over.
They're trying to compete with TikTok.
Yeah, well, everything. Yo, the attention span of people has really just died.
Yeah.
It died. We have no attention span. Like, I don't even know how, we have like an hour show. I think by 15 minutes, people are like, okay, let me go see what's on here.
Yeah, that's because we're lovable guys. Just
Look
saying.
at Lou in the house. What up,
There you
Lou?
go.
Darn
There you
those shorts. Yes, they right up. They right up.
Shave your legs, bro. Shave the legs, man.
Easy. Listen, we're getting a little sick over here.
You know that? True story. True story.
Oh,
Back when I was a teenager, I was training to be a bodybuilder, and so I used to take neat. I used to go in the shower, take neat and air, my whole body, because you had to take photos.
Now I'm really sick. Now I'm really freaking sick. Now I'm going to throw up. You really stopped the whole thing to tell us about that? Yeah, doom scrolling, yes.
I don't know. I think I'm getting, since you're getting sick, George, I think you need your medicine.
Yes, please.
Let's get some meds.
It's time for your medicine.
How much is enough? Para tu.
Man.
Para tu.
So back in June, I think the show aired on June 10th. Check it out, episode 400 and something. We talked about crowdfunding campaigns and what we should set our goals. Nice segue. It was all planned. It's all part of the script.
Okay,
yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Sam tells a disgusting story. We all get sick and we go get your meds.
You like my legs? What's the
no, bro. No, you're making me uncomfortable.
Come on, let's hug it out.
Sweating over here. Come
here. Put it in your mouth.
Come here. Chest bump. So anyway, so yes, we were talking about crowdfunding and how much we should set our goal for.
Word.
And we do what we do on Get Your Meds. We talked about different things, so like make sure you cover your expenses, right? Like when you're setting this goal, how much money should I ask for? Well, what's going to cover your expenses? But we've done a few you've done a few campaigns now. I mean, I did one campaign, and I'm pondering the next one. But we have learned a lot, and I've learned a lot from you, just watching you go through the whole thing. And so,
for my sorrow, go ahead.
Which is why a part 2 came about, because for those who do crowdfunding campaigns, right? And sometimes you sit there, okay, how much? What do I ask for? Do I ask for 500? Do I ask for 1,000? Ask for 6,000, 7,000? Now there are different ways you can go about this, right? You can do the math and see what you need. So if you're a writer and you're hiring an artist to do your book, how much is your artist charging you? How much you think how much you're going to need to produce the book, print it, ship it, add-ons, all that other fun stuff. Do the math, come up with a number, and bam, $50,000, like Michael says, right? Boom. All of a sudden, that's what you need. And then you make that your goal, right? That's one way to go about
it. Bro. What's up with
That's one way to go about it. Or you can set a goal low enough where you're going to fund so that you fund, right? Now, the cons against that is that might not be enough to pay your artist if you haven't finished the book, right? The pros are that you're probably going to fund and you're probably going to make the money that you need and you're going to look like it's a successful campaign. So, $1, $2 plus tips. I like the suggestions you said. But I think that when you're setting these goals, and now that we've done this a while here, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, the book should be done. Like, I know that crowdfunding is to get your book finished and to produce your book, and this is why you're putting money together. But I feel like the way crowdfunding has evolved within comics, people expect their comics right away. Like, because a lot of self-publishers, indies, are using crowdfunding as almost like a store. People are putting comics, quarterly, sometimes 2-3 months, you're seeing a new comic. So if you're waiting on a comic to be completed, you may not get people to come back for your second one, right? How long did we wait for one particular comic that finally came in? Just like 18 months? It was a while, right? And it was because the book wasn't finished yet. And the
Yeah.
goal was high, and they reached the goal, but the book wasn't done. So here we were waiting for it. No taxes, baby. So I think that when you're doing and there's another way to calculate. Don't try and fund for an 88-page book. Then you're saying, looking in the mirror. No, you should try to fund it, but I feel like you should have it finished first. What do you think, Sam? Talk to us.
I think you were nice. I think you should have shown the bet and say, "Yo, finish your." Excuse my language. Hold back, regress. I regress. Anyway, so finish the book. Damn it. It just gives us a bad rep for the indie community. Make sure you have that ready. Go, get in the game ready. But what I say is the way I look, I've done enough that now I do an average. Right? I do an average. What's my average unit count per campaign? I take all. I've done 9. I take all 9 campaigns I create an average. And I said, this is the average amount of units I've printed based on these 9. So I'll set my goal based on the printing cost, shipping cost, supply cost, and that's how I'll create the goal for that minimum count. Anything beyond that is what I want, but I'll start there because now we'll have some data to work with, because I know that this is my average backer count, this is my average unit count, this is whatever. So I'll do the math there. If you're coming in offhand, I would say start with the bare minimum. What if I only got 25 backers? How much would it cost me to print it, ship it, get the box and boards and all that stuff, the labels, all that stuff? What would it cost me just to break even, right? If you don't have an artist or whatever that you're paying for, right? And I would start there. The risky thing when you're an unknown and you're coming into Kickstarter and it's your first one and you have 7 variant covers you got to pay those artists for, you got interiors you got to pay an artist for, you got whatever, all these people you got to pay for and you haven't paid for because you told them you're going to run a Kickstarter. That's a risk. It's a huge risk because there's no guarantee, and 9 times out of 10 that group of people that you got to pay, they're not going to help promote it. They just want to get paid, right? So you got to think about that as well. So what was, how long did you have that landing page up? Have it up for a few months, promote, and try to get as many people to support it as possible before you launch. Like we've seen indies that, we've given them advice. They come on the show. We recommended the three episode series that we did with JD Calderon, and they still ignored all the warning signs and they launched and and they didn't do any of the things that we recommended or that Kickstarter recommended. Kickstarter, when they approve your landing page, they send you a whole list of things where you can educate yourself so you can prepare on what you do next. So I think when you think you're smarter than the system, you're going to hurt yourself. But just have a fundamental number in the beginning. If you're doing it, if you're the artist, the sole artist, right? You're not paying anybody. Start small, but I've seen guys come out of nowhere and they said, I want $50,000 because they look at Brian Pulido and they think I'm going to make that kind of money. Brian Pulido's been in the game since we broke into comics. He's been since Chaos, you know what I'm saying? So this guy has a fan base and a reputation. Don't try to play in the big leagues. You're in the minor leagues, there's a lot of podcasts out there where people are sharing their experiences and there's a lot of knowledge out there. Do your homework. Don't go crazy.
Yeah, man. I think that if you're a first-time crowdfunder, right, you're doing your crowdfunding for the first time, I think it's imperative that you go out there and promote the crap out of your stuff and make sure that you get a following so that when you do launch, that you're going to have, a good number of people that are going to be, pledged into the campaign. You can do that through many things. You can go, JD Rosario, big shout out to him. He's a big proponent of mailing lists, right? So you can have something set up like that when you go to campaigns to conventions. Talk to people at conventions when they're buying your book. Hey, sign up for my page. You have to do the legwork. If you're gonna be there for the first time and you have a big number in mind, then you got to do your homework. I think that's first timers. Now, let's say for give you another example, Sam. You have a crowdfunding campaign. It was your first one, and you made money. Right? You made.
I get money. I got.
What's main course? Any suggestions on what to do if you're a writer and not an artist? But on my bank robbing days are behind me. Put on too much weight. Oh man! See, now here's the thing, right? Me, I paid out of pocket for my stuff. Unfortunately, I mean, it wasn't easy, and it's not easy to just come out of pocket for a lot of that stuff. But I use crowdfunding to almost like try to recoup some of that money back, which you probably won't do all the time. But I think that unfortunately, train hopping, unfortunately, I think you have to kind of like, dig in and do some of that stuff. Maybe as a writer, do some freelance writing gigs and try to, raise some money that way. Do things like that. Use prose, write prose, something that you don't need an artist for, and self-publish that kind of stuff. See if you can sell that kind of stuff. I think you need to use maybe some of your skills to do some of that stuff. If people need writers, go get some, maybe subscribe and to gig and go get a gig. Go to do that kind of stuff. So, but let me get back to what I was telling you guys about, as far as like, what if you had a successful campaign, Sam, and you made $6,000? I use my sexy looks, Philip. Good luck, buddy. Now, Sam, what are you doing? What happened?
I'm listening to you.
No, Philip is making jokes. We got people in the chat. You're over here with your head down. Pick it up. What are you doing?
I'll bring the sexy back.
Oh my God. Jesus. He's in his phone texting Puerto Rico right now. What are we doing?
We started with prose and turned it into comic and finance.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking
What's your
about.
question?
Well, I was asking it, but you had and loan from George, 38% interest. Yo, Mike, we're gonna have to talk after this show, brother. You're giving me some good ideas. Okay, so you had a campaign, your first campaign, it was successful. You made $6,000, right? What I've seen is that same artist say, "Oh, damn, I made 6,000. So my goal next campaign is going to be 7,000," and they go that way. I think personally that's a mistake.
Chase,
because and you've done these, and I've done these campaigns. There's a drop off sometimes in that second campaign, right? Because when you're a first timer, when you're out there doing your thing, and you're out there, your family and friends are supporting you, right? They want to come out. You should see my sexy cosplay cover.
Oh no, that's okay.
Well, hey, Phil, it's a family show, Phil. It's a family show. So this is what I think. I think you should look at your backers. So say, for example, I'll give you an example. 135 backers. 137 is what I had. Let's do it 135 backers.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look at that as a first time, person, as a first time crowdfunder, 135 backers. That was great, right? You got to think that out of those 135, I would say maybe 25% of those were family and friends who wanted to see you do well and wanted to support you. So they went out and they pledged to your campaign. Those people also don't understand how crowdfunding works most of the time. And they think that, oh, good, George made his money. I don't have to support him for the next one because I already got him on this one. So they're gone. So now you lost about 25% of your people. Let's say now you have 100 people that you think are going to come back. How much are you selling your book for? $15 a pop, maybe? 100 times 15, 1,500. Set your goal at 1,500. If your goal is for 1,000, this one comes around, maybe do it for 1,500. You know what I mean? What you say? Right. I don't want to show it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see it.
So maybe you go that route where you start, looking at your backer count and using your back account as a way to decide, okay, how much should I ask for next time? If the back account was 50 people,
is that your way of asking me a question and then answering it yourself?
Well, I figured you're not really paying attention. I might as well answer my own question because Sam is not paying attention. So I might as well just go for it. You know what I mean?
Here's my answer.
I might as well. I mean, I'm trying to survive.
I am the engineer here, so I got a lot of moving parts.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't know your moving parts were on your phone.
Yeah, stop looking.
Yeah, I'm peeking, bro. I'm like, what you got there, bro?
What are you looking for, bro?
What you got there, bro? That's that person that peeks over the urinal over here. You little.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Oh no! Stop. All right, enough.
I told you the story.
No, you did not. I don't want to hear it again. Anyway, hey, George, why are you in the hallway?
George is squatting. He climbed in a window of an empty apartment.
Check out my apartment.
He climbed into a window of an empty apartment, bro.
I'm too loud. I get kicked out of the house.
I wasn't texting. I was letting 911 know your location.
Yeah, is that what it was? You were pinging my location?
Wherever you got tied up in that closet, I don't know what's going on over there.
That's for George's Mets again. Yes, thank you. Oh man. Anyway, yeah. What was the question, Sam? What do you do? All right, I'll let you answer. What do you do? What do you suggest for somebody who
You
made
you don't
a
go up.
bundle?
You don't go
You don't
up.
go up.
I say you please you keep the same number for every campaign. Just keep the same number.
Really? You
Whenever
keep
you
it
start,
consistent. You don't
stay
even bother.
consistent. Yeah, because what happens is
I was paying those artists, dude. That's I lost my house. It's over. I'm in somebody else's apartment. That's
how many guys have we seen that they had a stellar Kickstarter launch, they come back and they raise it and they can't make it and they don't make the second one, right? And so I was like, don't assume, because you got people who are just going to back you because they want the number one if that's your first campaign, right? So again, sometimes they don't even come back for your number two. They just wanted that number one because they say maybe one day this guy might pop off. I got the one in my collection. George will be rolling in interest soon. You know what I'm saying? So I say don't get overzealous. Stick with the same formula. If you got a formula that works, keep it there, and they'll come. But number one, you save your mental being, and the stress that comes with, oh man, how come I didn't get funded? Oh man, because it's stressful when you're trying to fund your campaign and backers are not returning, or you're not funded in the first week. You're not funded that first week. That it's going to be a long 4 weeks, because now you have to promote. You're going to annoy people. People are going to say, I'm tired of seeing this guy post. It's like, I'm going to stop following these guys. This guy's obnoxious, right? But you're there, DEFCON 5, all hands on deck, alert.
Man, listen, my go-to goal number is 1,000. Nice round number, $1,000 for the campaign. That's the goal. I think that's the goal to set. Now, if people are saying, well, I want a little more. Okay, I'm saying is, if you want more and this is your second or third campaign and you're trying to figure out how to do it, I say just use your bank account. See how many people actually came back. The other thing you got to remember, man, a lot of people pledge to these books and they never open or read the books.
Word.
So they don't even know if the story's good.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
I have an entire long box full of Kickstarters that are still in the box that came and I haven't opened because, there are months where I backed 6 or 7 campaigns and I'm like, and then they all show up at the same time and I just put it in a box because I have already a list of things that I'm reading now. Like I just received The Art of DuckTales, and so I'm having fun with that one. But so it's like, so there's things that are on my priority list. I back the because I either like the artist or the writer or I like the work. But I haven't gotten to a lot of stuff.
What did Phil say? The campaign will make what it's going to make no matter your goals. So set low and get paid, something as opposed to I think that yes, you do need to put a dollar amount down, but I think your hustle has to be the same no matter what. In other words, and when I say the same, I mean 110%. Like hustle has to be insane. Like your hustle has to be no matter what your goal is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, with that said, we do have a guest in the waiting room, and it's about that time that we're bringing him in. So let's bring in our guest, Mr. Ari Gross, and let's get this popping.
Ooh, okay.
What's up, Ari?
Oh,
hey guys, what are you saying?
Ari, what's going on, brother?
Hey man, I'm. It's great hearing you guys talk about like the Kickstarter and funding and all this stuff, because I mean So my campaign just finished, and the biggest question for me was like, how much, right? Like,
how much? Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? Like, what do you do? How did you? Much for audience thing.
How did you come up with your number? What was your method?
I looked at what I needed, what I knew I needed. Okay. I was like, okay. I spoke to so I should say, so I knew going into it that I wasn't going to have enough to pay. I wasn't gonna be able to raise enough to pay for like my artists and cover and letter and editor stuff. And I was like, anything. So I'm gonna just pretend that's sunk costs right now. Just sort of put that to one side. And then what's it gonna take for me to make this book, which is done except for like the backer page at the end, with people's names and whatever. What's it gonna take for me to print that and send that? And I said, okay, that's a number. And then I went to everyone, was like, okay, what do you think about this? And they was like, you can go higher, and you can be more ambitious. And, I took a look at, I also like wrote this little like tiny computer program to like put in different parameters and make you like different estimates of like where your campaign would be based on like the distribution of like the campaign and stuff. So I got super nerdy about it. And at the end, it was like what I expected. It was more money wise than I expected. I was expecting between 50 and 60 backers. I was like, if I make that, I'm going to make it, even if I don't have any high tiers, even if I don't have like friends and family being like, here's $150 for like original art for the highest tier. And it turned out that if you take away all the high tiers, I like just made it. So I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like anything on top of that's kind of gravy. Like it goes towards paying my artist. I also told my artist, because I'm selling some of the original art for the high tiers, I was going to give him a cut of that. You know, because I thought, you know, the book, you know, just to work everything out, I was like, if you give me the art, I'll sell it. I'll give you something. So like, you know, I didn't want to because I want to keep the amount of new stuff I was creating for the campaign low in terms of just the variety of stuff, and also how much I would have to pay other people to do it. Because it's one thing, because like one thing I did is for a stretch goal, I did trading cards. I've always wanted to do trading cards. I love like the Marvel like DC trading cards from like the 90s. It's like as a kid, I just collected those like crazy. And I was like, I'm going to do that. That's part of my comic thing. You know, it's part of my brand. That's part of the thing I want to do. So you could go to a company and say, I want to like you to print trading cards. And that's a whole lot. Or you could like buy the actually it's no longer like this. It's one of these like the cutters, you know, and like order it. So I was like, everything I do, I'm going to be the person who's putting in the effort. I'm going to be the person who's spending just money for overhead to keep as many costs down as possible, and just like, you know, sweat equity, right? Or whatever, not sweat equity, whatever the term is, like, you know, put in the effort for that. So that's how I figured it. So I was like, try to keep new spends. And people were, so I only have one cover, and people were like, do you want a variant cover? And I was like, I could, but that means I have to like consider multiple production runs, and then I have to pay another person for another cover. And I was like, I'll keep you shit simple as fuck. First time out the gate, like let's just get it done, you know.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's a good point. When you look at variant covers on a book, you have to now think about, oh wow, if one person orders it, I still have to print it. It's not like, hey man, I didn't make a print, so you know I'm not gonna be able to get you. No, you have to get it. And now you may have to print 25 of them because there's a minimum that you have to print, and now you're stuck with these other covers that nobody paid for, but you still have to have them. So there's a lot that goes into it. Was that
yeah? I was just saying, I think the minimum print of the place I'm looking at is like 50 copies. So like, I'm making more than 50 copies for physical copies to send to people. That's cool. I think it came out to like 39 copies. That'd be like 54 backers or something like that, like are getting physical copies. Then I'll have a little extra to send. There's no way I'm doing like for the 2 variant covers, like another run of like 48 extra copies, right? And then you have to pay someone to make the cover on top of that and everything. So it was a lot of math, man. But,
it was a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, it's like how you Steve, man. Hope they're not, Philip. They're not. But so Ari, was that your first campaign?
Yeah, this is my first campaign.
It is. Okay, it is. And it was a successful campaign. I think it ended 2 days ago, right? I think it might have ended. I think February 26th.
Yeah, it ended. Just like February 6th, so like a couple, like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that. My birthday, I just turned 40 on the 25th, and so I was like,
congratulations.
Instead of doing like 4-week campaign, I was like, I'm doing 3.5 because like I want to be done on my birthday. I don't want to be thinking about this shit afterwards. I was like, we're setting a goal. That's it. Yeah.
It's stress, man. It's what was JD's comment there, Sam?
It says sweat equity is great during startup. It is a good move, but eventually that catches up, and you need to outsource production. And usually your spouse will be
they find their way to like every place in the house, or like all that shit for.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about you, Ari. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where did you grow up? Like what got you interested into comics? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm living in Toronto now. I grew up in Montreal. I grew up as an English Montrealer, an Anglo, as we call ourselves, or as everyone else calls us. And I've been around. I mean, I lived for a little bit, for about half a year in Japan. I lived for a couple years in the Netherlands. Moved around for like school and stuff like that. But I came to Toronto to do grad school, and I just stayed. I mean, it's one of those places. It's like if you're in Canada and you want to be in like the big city, this is the big city. Like there's other big cities, but like this is the place that has the most stuff. And like in terms of also like comic stores, just to like talk about that for a sec, I can walk 10 minutes west. I have like one of the best comic stores in Toronto. I can walk 10 minutes south. I have the other best one in Toronto. Like it's awesome. There's something on in town that's close, especially where I am. I'm near college called Comics. It's like one of the major streets in Toronto, and there's just everything going on in this area. So I did that. After comics, I mean, I've been reading comics since I was a kid. Okay, I thought I lost you guys for a second. Still there?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to make sure my internet slipped down or something. Yeah, I've been reading
Yeah, no,
comics
it's
like
good.
forever. I mean, Batman, Spider-Man. Like I remember after school there was a magazine store, and I had a bus that I took home, and the bus only came once every half an hour. And if you missed that bus, you're just standing there for like 29 minutes with like a big ass backpack full of like super heavy books. So I just went to the comic store, and they just had like a long box of like 25-cent comics, and like that was how I spent.
Nice.
I was the kind of guy who, like, if I saw the bus coming, I had to make a decision like, do I want to run up and catch this bus, or do I want to take the
Oh,
half an hour and just like walk through the long boxes, like,
right. Yeah, that's 25-cent
yeah.
long boxes. That's awesome. So your time in Japan. How long did you spend in Japan?
I spent 4 months in Japan. I was going to spend 6 months, but I spent the rest in Southeast Asia traveling around because it's cheaper and really
Yeah.
nice. Japan was great. I moved to Japan thinking I was going to like go to a small town, maybe like I was like, I just want like a quiet Japanese. And then I like moved to Tokyo and didn't want to do anything else. I love Tokyo. Tokyo's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
Nice.
a bunch of cities, each of which is like super expert in something, just
That's awesome.
smushed right together. It's like, I
Wow.
want to go to like the one street that has like all of the musical instrument stores. And it's like, here we go. There it is. You'll spend forever like just you want to play a guitar? Cool. The guy will take it down, tune the guitar for you because it would be rude to give you a guitar that was untuned. Make sure it's perfect, and then like here you go, and just sit quietly while you play this like $20,000 guitar that you like hope you don't
Jeez.
break or something. Yeah.
Holy cow. Did you pick up the language?
I knew a little bit before. I picked a
Yeah.
bit up. Yeah,
Yeah.
going there as well. I mean, it was good. It was good enough that by the end of the trip, my family came and we did a bit of internal traveling, and we went to some places in like like mountain towns and stuff like that, and where nobody spoke English but me. So I was like the one guy who had to like translate to my family, and this confused
Wow.
like this innkeeper who was like trying to explain why the shoes have to be a certain way because there's rules for everything, and if you don't follow the rules, like you just don't understand. Why are you even here?
Wow.
So they expect you not to do any. They expect you not to know the rules because you're this like filthy foreigner who like clearly doesn't know anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Which is kind of true. They're like very, very particular. But yeah, no, I had a great time there, and I probably would have stayed longer if I didn't come back to do grad school.
Right. Damn, man. So when did you pick up writing? Like when did the writing bug bite you?
I started writing comics 2 years ago. I had an idea for a story in my mind for like a while before that. I want to say like a year to like a year and a half before. And it was one of those things like I kept on finding reasons not to do it. I've never written before creatively. I've like, written academic stuff, like, write for work, reports, whatever, that kind of, sort of professional, clear sort of writing. But I never had any sort of creative writing with, characters and development and tension, whatever that shit. So it was just sitting in my mind. It was like, shortly after the pandemic started, I just kind of ran out of excuses not to do it. And I was like, every day I was like, oh, I can't do this project. I've got to do all these other projects that I do. And I was like, well, why can't I just try that? So I just sat down for a year and just every night I just wrote like a long ass story, which is now getting turned into a comic. It was basically like 264 pages, like a maxi series, like 12 issues, right?
Awesome.
And so I started talking to people. I was like, I always wanted to write comics. Because I don't like really the way I prose writing. Like it's just not for me. It's just for some people it is. For some people, I was like, I love comics, as you can obviously tell from behind me. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I love reading them. I love writing.
Yeah.
And then I went to people. I was like, so how do I turn this long ass story into a comic? And they're like, have you written a comic before? And I was like, nope. And they're like, maybe you want to write a comic, like a short one. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, write 4, 5, 6 pages, And so the first thing I had published was this. It's Scott Snyder Presents Tales from the Cloakroom. We ended up, so I joined just like all my stuff I did just sort of fallen ass backwards into. Like I found randomly the Scott Snyder, the Scott Snyder comic, what was it, the class that he was starting up. Like just randomly, someone showed it to me and I was like, oh, that's cool. I think, I like Scott Snyder. I wasn't like a mega Scott Snyder fan, but I read all his Batman. I read some of his other stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll join him. Maybe I'll meet some people. Like I'll just see how this is done. And then immediately, like day one of the class, someone's like, hey, we should do an anthology. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm just gonna say yes because that's how you do things, right? You just say yes, and then
go for it.
Now you're committed, so you have to do it.
Go for it. Yeah.
So I got a story in there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like it was my first story, and then I got another story, and and I'm in, I think, 4 anthologies at this point. I got like 8 or 9 shorts that I wrote, all like different genres, different stuff. I want to do like sci-fi, horror,
Right.
so like one was a fantasy humor thing. I was like, I just want to work at that. And then after this, I was like, okay, cool. I've done shorts. What's the next step? Single issue, right?
Right.
Am I doing the first issue of like an ongoing series? I was like, well, I have a cool idea I have for like a total standalone story. Maybe I'm just going to do a one shot, so that also if like it fails or if people don't like it or whatever, I could be like,
Sure.
okay, well,
Right.
that's off to the side, like.
Right. Right.
So that's what I did. This is my first one shot. I just finished. I'm now in the process of like, I just spoke to the printer today. I just got like the last final like quote and everything for printing out everything. So after this, it's going to be going into the main series and then into the other main series that I'm writing and like
That's awesome, man.
yeah. And I've got
I
art
like-
coming for the first one, so that's dope. Like
Yeah, no, I like how you're doing it in stages, right? You started small, let me just write a couple of that. Now that you've done different, sizes as far as writing, do you find it what do you find harder? Because for me, sometimes I find like short stories, like 4 pages, 6 pages, 8 pages, are very hard to write because you're full of ideas, and to narrow it down into like that amount of pages, it gets tougher. Do you find that it gets tougher the smaller they are, or you're just like, no, actually, I kind of like that?
I do like editing, like just trimming the fat off shit. And even now, my first like issue of like my ongoing series, like
Mhm.
I'm reading it now and I'm just like, I gotta cut these like 4 pages. Although the art's done,
Wow.
like I'm putting the letters in, but it's just too late for this now. But like afterwards, I'm just like, having looked at it with like the editing eyes, now I'm just like,
Yeah,
holy shit,
yeah.
there's a lot of fat still to trim. I
Right.
do like doing short stuff, but it is 100% a challenge. It's like
Mhm.
you got to get to the point, like page 1 setup, like like
Right,
page
right.
2, like you're in act 2 already, right? Like you
Right.
don't have
Mhm.
time for to flesh out act 1, like you're like off to the races right away. The shortest story I did was 5 pages, which like a 1 pager is tough, like just like unless you have like a very clear thing that like unless you like know exactly what it's going to be. Like 1 pages are kind of tough, but 4 to 6 pages I don't find too tough as long as I know exactly what the story is. Like if you're like,
Yeah.
the story is this happens, then that happens, then this ends, you're like, okay, so page 1, act 1, act 3, like page 1, like first page, last page, and the rest just like, yeah, like you have 4 pages or 10 pages or whatever it is, and then you just have to
Right.
figure out how best to do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you find yourself writing in page count now that you're doing comics? Like, do you find yourself writing in, okay, 4 pages, 4 pages, 4 pages to get to that 22 or 24 page count for the books?
it's funny. I don't really. I find myself
Okay.
kind of writing in terms of scenes. Actually, what I find I'm doing is
Okay.
I have a beginning, an ending, and then I'm usually just like, shit, I gotta like think a way to pull the taffy to stretch this idea out. And by the time I'm done, I'm just like, fuck, now I gotta cut like 4 pages off. Like it's too, I pull the
Right.
taffy too much. Like it's way too stretched,
The taffy,
So
yeah.
it's that kind of like tension between expansion and contraction, being like more flavor, more texture, and just like, nope, like get to the heart of the matter. You have 22, 24, whatever it is, pages. Like you just gotta like, that's your number, gotta make that number.
Right, right.
But because I go into these, because I've gone into everything so far knowing what my page count's going to be, it's been a lot easier. It's been like, okay, I've got 24 pages to fill. I know kind of how that's going to, I've got like 6 scenes. I can't have any scenes being 10 pages, not that like I would anyway, but like you just can't, like, so yeah.
So do you I guess when you say you have number of pages, who sets that number? You yourself are setting that number in your mind, or
Yeah.
how do you approach this? You're almost like saying to yourself, okay, I have these many pages, I'm not going to go beyond these pages. Is that what you're saying to yourself to kind of like
Yeah.
keep yourself within that number? Yeah.
Yeah, so for the main ongoing, so I got 2 ongoing series I'm writing. One, the art is coming back, and I'll be doing Kickstarter for that. Hopefully, assuming everything works out, in the fall, I think. And the other one, I'm still looking for an artist. It's just like my editor is doing a second pass and everything. So for the first one, it's 44 pages. I'm making them fat single issues. I don't know why. It just worked out that way when I started writing it.
Right.
Like it just happened to be 44 pages. Now going back, I could probably be like, I probably should be 40 pages or whatever. But like I've done that, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll change it. Maybe issue 2 will be 40. Maybe it won't be 44. Maybe issue,
right.
But like it's indie stuff. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's a multiple of 4, or
right.
I don't want the book's a multiple of 4.
Well, see, and the funny thing is, when you talk about it, now that I'm thinking about it, when you talk about indie books, you're only, I guess, the only thing that stops you is the print count, right? And how much it's going to cost
Yeah.
you to print those books. Sometimes that's where it lies. But let's talk a little bit about Awakening, man. I know that
Yeah,
was
sure.
the book that you had on Kickstarter just finished a couple of days ago. Tell us a little bit about Awakening and what it is.
Yeah, so Awakening is a Star Trek inspired sci-fi sort of self-contained one-shot story where the main guy, the navigator, Lieutenant Lau, with their I'll just start. There's a starship. It's on the edge of an unexplored galaxy, trying to figure out what is going on with this strange celestial anomaly. Very sort of classic Star Trek setup. Cruising space, trying to figure something out. And Lau, from page one, he gets knocked over and he starts just turning right to the reader and like seeing things that nobody else in the ship is seeing. And so then the question is, what is going on with this guy? Like, what is he seeing? Is it real? Is it not real? And then everyone will have a reaction to that, and then the plot goes interesting places. So what I want to do is I want to sort of play off two things. The first is I want to have a Star Trek story. I kind of like the idea of just like writing a Star Trek story without any actual Star Trek characters, but using the structure of it. If you read it like page one, you're looking at it, you're like, I know who this guy is. He's clearly like he's he's the navigator of the ship or whatever. The other person's the med person. So it helps you sort of get right off the races without having to do too much sort of thinking about it. And I love Star Trek. I think sci-fi is great, and I think this particular type of story really works well with sci-fi.
Yeah.
And the second thing I want to do is I want to play on that comic tradition that goes back probably to when people started, scribbling, like the very beginning, with characters either addressing readers or addressing their writers. The fourth wall breaking and being like,
yeah.
It looks like he's breaking the fourth wall. It looks like he's seeing something, but is he? And if so, what is it? And to sort of play off that ambiguity until till the end, till you have the resolution where, is he's fictional? Is he think he's is that right? And so it deals with sort of issues of like faith and revelation. Like, he's had an awakening. He's seeing something that no one else is seeing. And everyone's got to like deal with the fact that there's, as far as they can tell, a kind of a crazy guy who's like saying something that as the reader, in a purely like, if he's looking at him, it's like, there's something out there. Like as a reader, you're like, yeah, there's something out there. I'm out there. Like, obviously he's like clued into what's really happening, but like, that's the thing. Is he? And there goes the story. Thank you. The Schwartz is always very much with me.
So you managed to tell the story in 20 pages. It's a one shot. Now that it's done, do you have ideas or maybe want to write more based on those characters now that it's done? Or you're kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm moving on to the story that I want to tell, the 12 issue story that I want to tell now.
Yeah. Well, I'm moving on just because like I got to move on conceptually, but never say never. I mean, I wrote a story for this one, the Tales from the Cloakroom called Chosen. And I've included Chosen as a backup story in Awakening because it goes really well together with it. And when you'll read it, you'll see what's going on. Also a sci-fi story. It's sort of a Green Lantern style kind of mythos thing where some guy's chosen. He's given this like jacket from space and he's going off and joining this corps. And it's asked, what is the nature of actually being chosen? As you read the story, you realize like, his space heroes are slightly less than heroic. So, like, why him? Is he special? What does it mean to be special?
Gotcha,
But everyone who's read this has been like, yo, this is cool. Like we want more of this. We want these guys. We want. So it's neat. I never intended this to be a continuing thing. But like the feedback I've gotten has been just like, hey, like this is fun.
Yeah.
And so
you never know, dude. You never know. You never know what's gonna hit. You really never know what's gonna hit. So what are the plans for Awakening now that the campaign is over? Let's say, for example, people wanted to get some of your books or some of your stories. How do they go about doing that?
So currently I'm not really selling anything other like online. I don't have like a web presence on that. I am going to get a couple copies in some stores locally. So if anyone's in Toronto, I'll be, you can reach out to me. I'll sell you a copy personally, but like I'm going to put stuff on some actual shelves around town, which is pretty fun.
Cool.
I think the biggest thing is it's going to be just like, I think a pretty small, relatively small run, like either 50 or 60 print copies. I still haven't figured out because I need to think about cons and tabling and stuff like that.
Right.
And so, you know, you don't want nothing, but you don't want to order like 200 copies and be stuck with, you know, this like book that's never going to move, right? So it's all like it's been a lot of that, a lot of figuring things out. But I mean, my hope is that less so for Awakening, but more for future works, at least ongoing series. I want to get them into stores, like into physical, you know, like actual like on the shelf and people picking them up and stuff. Whether or not that is, you know, helped by a publisher, or if I pitch to a publisher, whether I do like fully indie, I'm still working on that. That's what the next big question is. Do I go to like, you know, Scout Comics, for example, and be just like, hey, here's my story, or do I, you know, just say, oh, forget that. What can an indie publisher do for me that I can't do for myself? I crowdfunded, you know, like, I mean, they can probably do a lot of shit, but you know, like it's all these decisions I got to make now. But I mean, fortunately, I'm part of this like pretty cool comic community. A lot of people who took the Scott Snyder class, and you know, my editor is like really, really good. And so like, I'm getting a lot of like useful feedback from people, but at the end of the day, like I got to make all the calls, and I'll just make them as they come, I guess, you know?
There you go. So what any conventions you have set up coming up this year at all? Have you thought about where you're going to be?
No, I wanted to, the one convention I do want to do in Toronto is called the Toronto Comic Arts Fest, or TCAF. That's like the big comic thing. There's like Comic-Con and Fan Expo, and I might be in Fan Expo this fall. I haven't applied yet. I know there's a waiting list, but it's expensive, and I'm like, you know, for the person who's got like the one comic out there, is it good to be like drop whatever $600 or something for like a table, plus all the other stuff you have to get for the table would be like to get, I don't know, $50, $100 or whatever it is, like in return, just to get your name out? Or is that the kind of thing you're like, wait till you get another couple books, something else you can sell, you know? I'm hoping next year is going to be my first big con year. I think I could have done it this year if I pushed things a little. I've pushed things a little like earlier, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll try for some other places around. I would love to travel to the States and do stuff there as well.
That'd be great.
That's always like, you just have to get it on a calendar and make the decision to do it and do it.
Just do it, right? And just do it. Absolutely right. I mean, I'd love to go out to Canada and check out some of the stuff that you guys got going on over there, because I feel like there's a big indie market, indie community out there also.
The problem is George won't make it past customs.
Yeah. No, I gotta be careful. Yeah,
They're all up in your meds.
Yeah, no. Keep the meds in the bag. No, Ari, this has been great, man. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been a lot of fun. Good luck with everything you're doing, dude. And hopefully we'll see more stuff from you in the near future.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, brother.
Come on, guys.
Have a good one, bud. Take care.
Yes. Congratulations again on your successful launch.
Thanks a lot.
Peace, buddy.
Awesome.
All right, so that was Ari Gross. Check out his website. It's in fact the link is in the chat, but it's also it's in the summary. But here's a link to his website if you want to give it a shot. Check out all that he has to offer. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline, which is pretty dope. Again, it's always great talking to a lot of different creators, different perspectives, and especially when they're breaking into the game and they come in hot. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, there's so many questions, right? So many unanswered questions when you come in.
If you check him, guys, if you check out his bio, he's a certified nuclear energy worker, an English teacher in Tokyo, a historic scientific instrument collection curator. I mean, a worm viewer designer, a doctor of philosophy. I mean, it's like when I read this, I was like, remember that show on it was on NBC called The Pretender? The guy was everybody but nobody, right? You know, he was pretending to be everybody. You know,
where's this going, Sam? Where's this going?
That's what I'm saying. He wears all these hats. Who is he really? Right?
Oh,
it's
okay.
Stop acting up, George. Stop acting up.
He needs a spinner at the table. Listen. No. He sounds like a very, very smart man. He's 40 years old. I thought he was like in his 20s.
I thought we should fresh out of high school, bro.
Dude, the dude looked mad young. He's like, I just turned 40. I was like, what?
No, but he's a certified nuclear energy worker. It's probably the nuclear energy that's keeping him young. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nah, man. He's done a lot of things. So definitely check out his stuff. Check out the what you call it, the website. What is Mark saying? He's a CIA agent who's infiltrating.
That's what I said. I said, yo, I'm telling you, we've been infiltrated. They infiltrated the crazy camp.
Oh man.
That's why George is in an undisclosed location right now.
That's right. And you keep talking about custom. Stop. You can't keep telling people these things, man. Jesus. Oh
911.
my
If I
God.
have to give anybody up, I'm giving his location. It's right here.
Let me tell you something. If anybody is out there hanging out with Sam and you do something illegal, make sure that you're not with Sam because
You're on
he
your own.
will rat
I
you
will.
out. He'll rat you out.
Yo, I was in security for
tell you
15
something.
years, bro.
Let me tell you something. You know who would rat you out too? Jonathan. You and Jonathan would rat anybody out. Between
I
the
was like,
two
I'm
of
not going
you,
out for you. I'm not going
yes,
out.
yes. You guys would rat anybody out. What do we got in the
Dude,
chat? What's going on?
I'll-
Listen,
I'll-
we missed a lot. We missed a lot. You were just kind of flashing the things. There were a lot of good things. There's a Michael. You got some good material. He's bathing.
What?
See, you're going too fast again. Let's sit on that. Let us enjoy the chat.
What was knocking on the door? Bathing in the fountain. Clear energy.
You
right
clear
there, right?
water. Yes, we can start comments now when we join. But listen, I should have turned these lights off.
Preservation, bro.
I should have not let you guys know where I was.
If
You
you're
doing that,
innocent, you don't have to worry about me giving you up. But if you're guilty, I'm like,
Bro,
salute.
you make people sound guilty.
Yo, I'll
bro.
send you
It'll
commissaries,
be
bro.
innocent. It'll be innocent. You just make people sound guilty. That's just what you do.
Oh,
You embellish. You're a bit of an embellisher. Just a little bit. Just a
I
little
said,
bit.
Your Honor, look at his
Your
squinty
Honor?
eyes. Your Honor.
Yes, exactly. Yo, Mark's got it right. Self-preservation scam. That's exactly
That's
who
it.
Sam is. That's who he is. That's who he is.
That's
Hey,
how
yo,
we do
big shout out. Listen, big shout out to Mark Torres from It Came From the Radio. He was celebrating his 20th year on the air for his show. It Came From the
Yo,
Radio.
his first
20 years,
guest
bro.
ever. His first guest ever was Moses, bro.
Wow.
He said,
Wow.
he goes, tell us how you parted the sea, Moses.
20 years. His first guest was Moses. Wow. Wow. What did Mike say? What did Michael say? Is Georgia witness protection? I can neither confirm nor deny. You guys, yo, Ray, where you at? Ray coming out. Yo, there's a lot of people. Listen, big shout out to everybody who's tuning in tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. This has been fun.
It was hard to get.
Damn, Mo. Did you call him Mo? You're like, hey, Mo, what's going on?
Mo. Yo, yeah, Bill, shout out because we were on, back in the days, what was it, 06? 06?
Yeah,
we were on
Long
Mark
Island.
Torres's
Long
show.
Island days, yeah, back in the day.
Oh, look
right
at this.
here. Yo,
George, we got your back. Yeah, we got your back far back until it's time when they come in with the silver cuffs. And then he's like, yo, I'll send you soap on the rope. Don't worry about it.
He's like, yo, no, put your hands on your back. Put your hands on your back. That's what he meant.
Yo, it's funny because in my wallet, I was going through the checkpoint at the airport, and it kept going off. I got nothing,
Right.
and then but as I took my wallet, put it in my bag, I realized I have a cuff key in my wallet, just in case. I'm ever,
because you're a freak. You're a freaking freak. You got cuffed. You're a freak. That's just what it is. You're a freaking freak, bro. Oh no, don't go get him. Oh God, what are you going to get? What? Oh, see, you're a freak, bro. You're a freak. Listen, what you do in your spare time, bro? Keep that up the show. I'm glad you kept the audience, the mature audience going up there.
There it is. Yeah, I got my cuff keys. You never know. Well, it's, I guess this is from one of my security
You
days.
never
But
know what. What did you ever know?
If next year you're back of a patrol car and you're innocent, I'm like, all right.
For what? Why
You're
would
saying-
you be in the back of a back? Why would that ever happen?
Hanging out with you. You got the shitty eyes.
Hanging out with me.
Yo,
You're safe with me.
Yana, get your meds was a front. All right? Get your meds.
Yo, Michael's right. You're making me sick.
Anna.
Again. You're making me sick.
Yana,
Again.
they'll tell you. They'll tell you. Why do they get? Why do you think they call him the dreamer? Because once they get the meds, they start dreaming.
Yeah, there's no balcony back there. I know what you're talking about, Mike. I know what you're talking about. Making George sick again. Yes, but his key, who has a key in their wallet for? I don't understand. So wait, let me ask you a question. Now we're going down a rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
So you have a key in your wallet.
Uh-huh.
What is this, like a skeleton key? Like this key opens up any lock in the world, or you just know how to pick locks? Is that what you're telling me?
No, this is a cuff key.
Oh, it's just I mean, pardon me. I'm not a criminal. What is a cuff key for those who don't partake in those kind of activities?
This right here.
I know, but does that open every single freaking cuff?
Yeah.
Like you're telling me if you get a cuff, you're gonna be able to open it with that. That's what you're telling me.
There's only one standard issued cuff, and that opens it up.
Oh. I like how you said that. I like how you said that. Like, there's only one. Oh my God. you just
Houdini. You never know.
Yeah.
And then I always
What?
carry cuffs because you never know if you have to make a citizen.
You always carry cuffs. I'm out. I'm done. I'm done.
No, you better be ready to jump. 21 Jump Street.
Listen, Johnny Depp. What the hell are we doing here? This kid is freaking. Oh my God. What was the guy that came in after Johnny Depp?
It was Richard Grieco. Yeah.
Oh, great show, though. Great show.
When your back is to the wall.
That's a great show. That's a great TV show.
Yo, they got it 24 hours here in Texas.
Yo, did you watch Buy My Book? Or else I'll call you. You know what? Now that you think about it, like this kid's taking his cuffs to freaking conventions and stuff. Oh my God.
The scene with Jonah Hill when he finds out that he slept with the captain's daughter.
Yo, that is a good remake. That is probably one of the best remakes as far as movies go. But the original show was a joy.
If it's zip ties, I'm done because I can't do anything. My hands are behind me. I'm done. I was like, I'm going down. I was like, because I'm locked up. You won't let me out.
I thought he had a pair of scissors in his other freaking pocket.
I was like, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. It's over. I'm going downriver.
This took a turn. This took a turn.
I don't know where this way. And I'm not even drinking, which is even the best part of it.
That's crazy. You just have a lot of energy, my friend.
Imagine if I had a sip. Oh, it's on.
Scissor. That's right.
Go to the next level.
Oh man.
Akon. That's right.
Akon, really? He's got a ball, bro. He's got all the hits. All the hits. The hits. Nothing but the hits. Oh, good times. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will be back next week. Do we have a guest next week, Sam? Do we know who's on next week?
We do. So let me see. Who do we have next week? I think I know who it is. Let me see.
You think you know?
I think it's a return guest.
All right.
Yeah, it's Lori Calcaterra.
Look at this. Yeah. Lori's here next. She did say that. I was actually on her show this morning. We were talking to her about it. All right, so Lori's back.
Yes, a fellow Texan.
Right. Yes, all right, that's gonna be fun. She's
fellow Texan and independent filmmaker. She's using drones to make movies. We have a
Yes, Path of the Tail Rider. Check that out. I think that's what she's promoting. I don't know if she's launching it or there's a landing page for it. But number 3 is coming out soon. So yeah. Awesome stuff.
Sure, have you ever been cuffed?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
That's all I got. That's all I'm going to tell you. You asked me a question. I answered the question, Your Honor. I answered
it's not fun. It is not fun.
Truthfully, I answered the question, and that was it. I was
not fun. Derelicts.
Yeah. I was driving dirty, bro. I was riding dirty.
Oh man, no. Me and my friends were doing pull-ups. We were doing pull-ups. We're doing a pull-up contest. You know how they have those? What do they call it? The scaffolds when they're doing work on a building. So it was scaffolds. So we started doing pull-ups, and the light went off on the thing. So we thought we might have busted something. Next thing you know, undercovers came with their guns drawn, threw us all up on the wall. My friend's like, "Why are you touching us?" And they smacked them.
Why are you touching us?
And then the other guy says, "My father's a lawyer." Then he got smacked. Pop. And I was like, "Oh man, it was horrible. It was horrible." They cuffed us all up because we were doing pull-ups. I said, "Now imagine if we were actually criminals. We'd be dead. They probably put us in the underground."
Not only did they cuff you, they smacked you up a little bit. They roughed you up.
You know, it was like they're like, "Get out of our neighborhood." I said, "We live in this neighborhood, sucker." It's like smack.
Oh, this is a skit. This is a freaking this is a living color skit right here.
You couldn't talk right. You couldn't say anything. He's like, "What's your badge number?" "This is it." I said, I'm not gonna answer one because 3 of them got smacked. It was like 6 of us. 3 of my friends got smacked. And I said, I'm staying silent. I'm not saying one word. I said, I like my face just like the way it is. Hell no.
Smacking kids upside the head. Oh man, tune in next week for the continuation of this tale. Dude.
Again.
Good times.
Yes,
Excellent.
with that said, we do definitely appreciate. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit that like button, share it with a friend, let the world know where you come to find all the latest indies in the independent community. Because when the craze grows, the independent grows. We want more eyes on us, so we have more eyes on our guests, and we appreciate everybody who's come out tonight. And don't forget to sign up for the launch of the graphic novel, volume number 1. There's an alien in my toilet. Landing page is live. Thank you for the 18 people who signed up already. I appreciate you. And if you're in PR, Puerto Rico, I'm coming, Puerto Rico. Let's get ready to party. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget, check out
Samuel. Next week, what? Fluffy cups?
The fluffy cups. I know, the pink ones, right? And go check out A Kid in a Comic on Facebook and on Instagram. Again, my duty, the comic strip hit stores in the summer. So it's going to be pretty dope. And check out Get Your Meds.
Get your meds with a Z.com.
Yes,
check it out.
So this way you get your meds and you can start dreaming. But with that said, we appreciate everybody. Thank you, our guest, Ari Gross. Check out his website. Thank you, everybody in the chat. There's so many I can't even say. All of you. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out. It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, it's about my friend Acquiesce. I met
Say my name.
right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
How you describe me? He said, I'm the what?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.